Or introducing on my special guest now on the show, we have the one and only Aura Davis joining me on my show. Thank you very much for taking time out to speak to me today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes, welcome to the UK. I know you're in London right now, doing gigs and so forth. How's it going? Your trip over here?
Well, actually, I'm still home in Zurich right now, but I will board the plane like on Friday morning, and then I think I'll arrive in London somewhere around noon-ish.
All right, okay, yeah,
But then I'll be there for like, oh God, 8 days, maybe nine, eight. I lose track of
yeah,
dates.
sure.
Crazy.
And you do like various shows, like over that course of the 8 days.
Yes, 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 I will. I will play one bigger gig at Trinity in Harrow.
Hmm.
And it's gonna be like the venue has this Yuck Club Night, so they call it. And it's Yuck's 11th birthday, so we're gonna have a blast. There are gonna be a few other musicians there. Uh, it's gonna be awesome. And then the other two are simple acoustic, like smaller venue type of things, but I
Sounds
enjoyed it, obviously. So
Yeah, sounds fun. So at the end of this interview, we'll make sure that you share your website address with everyone so they can catch you where you are with your tours and your gigs. Zurich, if I'm correct, is Switzerland. Is that right?
well, I'm half Italian, half Swiss,
Oh,
but
wow.
I was born here in Zurich, and I've basically lived here most of my life. Yeah,
Brilliant. What's the music scene like over there?
dead.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
No, I mean we do have a music scene, but it's like Switzerland is very small. Like it's a very small country,
Mm.
and like some of the cliches you hear are correct. So like people here care about money, insurances, chocolate, and watches, but
Um,
not exactly music.
yeah. Oh, that's a shame. But I know Zurich. I always think of banking or financial meetings when I hear Zurich. But I'm sure it's a nice city. Looking at the photographs on there.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, I travel to many, many different places all the time, and Switzerland is one of the cleanest countries I've ever been to. Like there's no comparison. It doesn't matter where you go, you will not find a place that's so clean.
Mm.
Like
That's
this
always
is
good
crazy.
to know, isn't it?
Crazy. And we have lots of seas and mountains here, of course, like, and it's so small. Like I always tell people, like, if I get in my car and just drive straight ahead for 3 or 4 hours, I'm gonna leave the country. Like
Uh,
you will leave the country. There is no other way.
uh, okay. Well, you've told me just a bit about your background, where like where you're from and everything. Onto your new album now. You've got a new album doing the rounds at the moment with three kind of singles leading the album, coming off the album.
Yeah. Well, that was a weird kind of releasing cycle. Like I don't usually do that. But the first single of the album was released last year. And that had a lot to do with the fact that like I'm a perfectionist, especially when it comes to music and stuff. Like I want to make sure everything is where it should be. And I started to talk about an album like 2.5 years ago. And so then we had some songs that were finished and we knew those were going to be on the album the way they are. But then there were other songs where I was like, I'm not quite sure we have it yet. So like the album took a little longer to be finished than expected. So the first single was released last year, and then another one came like 4 months after, and then the third one with album release. So
Hmm.
it was kind of a long breath situation, like even for me.
And it's called Eloquently Aggressive. Is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Brilliant. Nice. Those three singles on about were called Lawless Land. That was the leading single from that album.
Yeah.
Also, the is it Broken? That's a big power ballad.
Broken is a big fat power ballad. Yeah. Like I had my tiny little, like I'm not even gonna pretend I sound like Whitney Houston, but I have my little Whitney Houston diva, Mariah Carey diva
Hmm.
moment going on there.
There's a bit of soul in every one of us if we find it, isn't it? Somewhere
Oh
deep
yeah.
down.
Oh yeah,
Do you
totally.
like do you like
I hope
performing
so.
that? Yeah. Do you like performing that one live? Bring the house down.
Well, I play it with the band because like when I play solo, like to be honest, I haven't really thought about it. Like it's not on the set list when I play just by myself. And that has mainly to do with the fact like I really want to lead into the vocals, and that sometimes gets a bit like shaky when you like when you're trying to manage an instrument and the vocals on top. So I choose the songs that I know are songwriter songs that you can play with one guitar, and like the vocal delivery is still very, very strong. Those are the songs that I play when I'm by myself. But big songs like Broken is a song that I love to play with the band.
And when you're singing, do you also play with an instrument as well? That's talent as well.
Well, I started writing songs on my guitar the minute I got it. Like I never played covers, for example. Like the minute I picked up the guitar, I started to write music, my own music. So therefore, you will see me with my guitar very often. Like even when I'm with the band, I usually hold a guitar in my hand and play it. But we just also try to, again, with the full band, if we play a full show that goes on for over an hour, then I get my guitar breaks, so we call them, for the songs that really need a powerful, perfect vocal delivery. That's how we usually do it.
Brill. I can see the guitar means a lot to you. In the background of this interview, you got a couple of guitars there.
They are everywhere. Let me just show you, like
Oh wow,
there's a lot more.
that's amazing. That's amazing.
There's guitars everywhere here.
Well, the other thing I was going to touch on, I think I've made a note of it. It was called White something. So
uh, white lies, maybe.
yeah, White Lies. Yeah, I
White
couldn't
lies,
read.
yeah. That's a song, that's a funny little story. Like it's one I usually write from my own perspective very often.
Hmm.
But this one was, I wrote it for a friend who went through a really, really bad situationship. It wasn't even a relationship, it was a situationship, if you want to call it like that. And it's basically just a song that I wrote for her because she got treated really badly by a man in a suit who was an asshole. And
Oh,
that's just like what the song is about.
yeah, brilliant. As I said in past interviews, it's good that you can put experiences into song, isn't it?
Totally. Like it's why I write music. Writing music has helped me with depression. Like I've been deep in depression. I'm suffering from depression like for most of my life. I don't
Mm.
even remember when it started. Like it's always there. And music just, I don't know, writing helps me to make sense of feelings I cannot really navigate
Mm.
without it. It's it's such a cliche, but it's actually therapy. I know every songwriter says that, but that's what it is.
Mm. I know what you mean exactly. How would you describe your sounds?
I mean, when I write by myself, I have a lot of rock influences in there. But I also am deep into storytelling. And where do you find storytelling most often? You find it in Nashville, in country music. Like that's where the storytelling, like where you flip the chorus to a
Mm.
like so I kind of say my music is always a mixture. Like for me, lyrics always come first. Like if a song has shitty lyrics, I don't listen to it. I don't care how good it is. It's just it doesn't resonate with me. And so the other side is actually deep love for rock and roll, but also like progressive rock stuff that's a little more dark, melancholy.
Mm.
Yeah. So my goal always is to kind of bring those two things that matter the most into my own music.
Sure. And you mentioned working with a band. Do you also like flying solo as well, like doing your own thing as well?
Well, it's the same thing. It's always Aura Davis. but it's either Aura Davis, just Aura Davis with a guitar, or it's Aura Davis backed by a band. But I mean, it really also depends on where I play, what the venue is like. Like, so for the bigger stages, of course, I'm gonna have my boys behind my back. But like for smaller stuff, I love doing intimate things, like I still go to a lot of bars or pubs and just play there because I love it. Like sometimes in the music industry, if you wanna approach it professionally, there's music almost is the smallest tiny little part of the whole circus. And it's really easy to lose track of the love for the core of the thing, because you're just like always busy, and you're always just like navigating contracts or bookings or talking to people there or there, and then you need to like get the album pressed, or you know what I mean? There's always so much going on. And I know many people, many artists, many of my artist friends too, they sometimes struggle in finding the love for music again, like just the joy that it brings you if you can play a song. And I find that magic in the smallest little corners of a cool pub.
That's it. I was chatting to someone, and I'm not sure who it was, or I heard an interview. Wherever you play, is the same as like a big arena or a concert hall. As long as there's people, it's still the same, isn't it? Whether there's 100 people in the room or 10,000 people in the room, um, it's although the amount of people, you can't compare the amount of people, but the where he's coming from, a gig's a gig, isn't it?
Yeah, a gig is a gig at the end of the day. I agree. But like there's still, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter from how many people you play to. Like that really doesn't matter. You're giving your all. Like you're literally standing there almost naked. And but it's still, to me personally, it still makes a difference if I see every single face and like get the person, I get the aura behind the person because I see them. And if you're playing for, I don't know, 1,000, 20,000 people, the individual kind of gets lost between all the faces. So I think that's the difference. But for you as an artist, at the end of the day, I mean, you're standing there telling your story, and it doesn't matter how many people are standing there watching.
As a concert goer myself, I must admit I do like the intimate venues, the smaller kind of venues which are like out of town. I like them venues because you get to see the artists for who they truly are.
Yeah. And I mean, acoustic is like, if you really play acoustic with like little to no technical stuff going on, like that's where you see talent or not.
Yeah, sure. What's been your milestone so far? Like I know you're in London coming up. Is that one milestone, or have you had like any career highlights so far?
I mean, I have started to play in the UK. Oh, what was that? 2.5 years ago, I guess, was my first UK gig. And I was hooked, like second one. UK people are so great when it comes to music. They really, really care. So I always love to go back. And because that happened, and I really fell in love with especially London again, like I loved London before as a tourist, but I really found a new kind of love for it as a musician. And that made me want to spend more time there. And I don't know, one thing led to the other. Like, sometimes when fate just puts pieces together and everything seems to work out. And so I met Charlie, who ended up investing a lot of money in my album. And he made it possible that I could record in London. I mean, the entire album has been recorded in London, in Notting Hill at JBJ Recording Studios. And I mean, that was a huge thing for me. Like most of my people that I know from around here, they record here in Switzerland or they go to Germany. But like being able to say my debut record was recorded in London is kind of cool.
It is. It is. And talking to you, I hear your passion, your determination, resolution as well. That pays off in the end, doesn't it?
I I'm really bad when it comes to acknowledging success. I never really do that. Like my people sometimes have to come over and tell me, Aura, take a breath. That was fucking awesome. That was a milestone. Well done. Because I don't give myself the minute. For
Mm.
me, it's always this, you like there's always something to do. You like now you've got this album, but now you've got promo and you got a tour, and you should actually be working on new material. Like my mind is constantly drawn to, okay, done that. What's the next thing? Like I'm always ready. And so I really have to learn, and I'm trying that. I'm working on that every day. Taking small breaks just to look around and see what happened. The things you accomplished over the time. And that's something I still try to work on every day.
Mm.
But I have few people who remind me of it. So
Also, I was going to ask you, you've had good, reviews from the Music Observer and the New York Weekly. That's nice to be well received, isn't it? Kind words from them publishments.
that was like the New York Weekly thing caught me by surprise entirely. Like I wasn't expecting any of that to happen. But that was one of those moments where I like I remember my sound engineer, he looked at me, he literally took me and shook my head and was like, Aura, that was huge. And I was like, yeah, mate, you are actually right. That really was a good one. And so we went out and had some drinks. But yeah, that was cool.
Lovely. And as I said earlier on, fire away with your website where people can follow you and the social media links as well.
Yeah, my website is pretty easy. It's auradavis.com.
I was going to ask you as well. Aura's a cool name. Is that your real name? Is it?
It's almost my real name. Almost.
Yeah.
Like my real name has one more letter in it.
Yeah. Probably could guess it, but no, that's wicked. Thanks very much for taking time out to speak to me today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, brilliant. And we'll see if we can play one of your records on my shows.
That would be cool. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. All the best with
Healthy.
you. All the
Lots
best with your tour dates in London as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. And have a great day.
You too.